Grand Rising loves, and welcome back to another Moon Day guided meditation. It's so good to have you all here. I hope you all had a beautiful weekend and a beautiful solstice and a beautiful strawberry full moon. I just hope wherever you are in the world that blessings have been finding you and that your lives have been filled with joy, happiness, and healing. If you're new to my channel, welcome. My name's Amanda, and it's so good to be here with all of you on this warm, sunny moon day. We are going to be doing our daily guided meditation. So if you need a glass of water, a pillow, a blanket, something to be comfortable while you meditate, I highly suggest getting those things for yourself. We're going to read the opening paragraph, which is more of a descriptor. Then we'll go straight into the guided meditation. After the meditation, there are questions for a deeper reflection. So if you'd like to have your journal, you can take some time and write those down. And then at the very end of the meditation, we'll take a couple of moments and do some Reiki. So for the theme, this week's theme is boundaries. And our goddess is Durga. So take a deep breath in, exhaling when you're ready. We're going to begin this guided meditation. Durga, boundaries. The Hindu goddess of protection. Durga is a fierce warrior with 8 arms, each brandishing one of her divine weapons. Riding her lion into battle, Durga is charged with safeguarding all that is sacred and protecting the peace. The name Durga in Sanskrit translates as fortress, evoking a sense of strength and safety. When we embody the wild wisdom of Durga, we give ourselves permission to create and uphold healthy boundaries, to honor our limitations, and to choose who and what we allow into our inner sanctum. Close your eyes and take a deep breath in. Exhale and imagine yourself walking up a hill. You feel yourself climbing up until you reach the top of the footpath. Before you, you see that the top of the hill is flat and wide. As you observe your surroundings, the goddess Durga comes to greet you. Welcome to my sanctuary, she says. She offers her hand, and you walk together towards the middle of the hilltop. As you walk, Durga speaks. This hilltop is my sacred domain. Visitors are allowed only by invitation. You can be sure that you are safe and at peace here. I've invited you here to learn the ways of boundary making. Unlike cultures past, women in your world are not taught and encouraged to develop healthy boundaries, to know with certainty where you end and the other begins. You were never invited to cultivate a line that you let no other cross. Despite what you have learned as a woman in this culture, your innate impulse to create and uphold healthy boundaries is your inherent right. You knew as a child, without being told, that healthy boundaries are the key to keeping yourself whole and safe. Your wild wisdom knew then and still knows when it is safe to let people in, and it warns you when you must keep someone out. Since childhood, though you have been taught to disconnect from this aspect of yourself, to silence and ignore your truth, but not any longer. Today, you will create your boundaries and begin the practice of protecting your sacred inner space. Without apology, you respond to Durga. Yes, I'm ready. I've always been ready. How do we begin? Durga says, first, look all around us. Feel the space. Decide how large you would like your boundary to be. It can be hundreds of feet around us, or it can be just at your fingertips. Now that you have decided on your space, it is time to create a border. Your border can be anything you choose. It can be a clear bubble, strong as glass, or it can be a wall of fire. It can be a hedge of roses with dangerous thorns, or it can be a shroud of mist. Whatever it is, create it now. You look all around, and as you look, your boundary is created. Your sacred space is safely enclosed. As you look at the border that you have created, you notice a door, which is shut and locked. And Durga reminds you, no one can enter your sacred space without your permission. You practice now is to allow yourself to create and uphold healthy boundaries, even when you are compelled by others to do otherwise, especially when you are compelled by others to do otherwise. You commit to protecting your sacred inner space by creating and maintaining healthy boundaries. And thank Durga for sharing her wisdom. Durga reminds you that you can return to this safe and sacred space anytime you need to, and then walks with you back toward the path. Together you walk down the hill, retracing your steps to the bottom. When you reach the end of the path, Durga hugs you, and you feel her power and strength melt into your body. She waves goodbye to you as she begins her journey back up the hill. With a smile, you wave goodbye and gently begin to return to your body here in this moment. When you are ready, open your eyes. Welcome back. Let's take a nice deep breath in. Grounding in the here and now moment. If you have your journals and a writing utensil, I'm going to read off the questions for deeper reflection. What cultural messages have you internalized about creating and upholding healthy boundaries? What cultural messages have you internalized about creating and upholding healthy boundaries? In what ways are you currently preventing yourself from developing or honoring your own boundaries? In what ways are you currently preventing yourself from developing or honoring your own boundaries? What would it feel like to give yourself permission to prioritize your boundaries? What would it feel like to give yourself permission to prioritize your boundaries? Boundaries. Being a woman in this world, in this society, it has been difficult for many of us to even learn what a healthy boundary looks like. Mostly because we've had our boundaries repeatedly crossed for as long as we could remember. I know many of you would probably agree that when you were a child, you had your boundaries either ignored, brushed off and dismissed, treated as a joke, or just completely violated. And sometimes it can be done in the simplest and smallest ways, like being forced to give that relative a hug when you didn't want to, but maybe your family members were like, no, you have to go give uncle or aunt so and so a hug, and so you were kind of coerced to honor the peer pressure rather than your own internal guidance system. I remember as a child my no being laughed at. I would be like, no. And they'd be like, aw, how funny, how cute, look at her saying no. And I can see as an adult where other people have treated my no like a joke, like an option. Oh, she doesn't really mean it. Her no means yes, or her no means she's being coy, or her no means she really wants it, but she's being, like, polite. When really, as women, we want our voices and our boundaries to be held as sacred as we hold them. So as we cultivate healthy boundaries, I know a practice for myself is when someone treats my no as a joke, I get to remind them, no, I'm actually quite serious. I may be smiling, but I'm really quite serious. I may not be taking a tone with you, but I'm really quite serious. You know? I've had to learn, and we as women in this world have had to learn to stand up for ourselves. Stand up for our boundaries. And I just want to send love and admiration for all the times that you've stood up for yourself. Because I know that's really big for a lot of us. Many of us want to maintain peace, happiness, and love. But we get to affirm that we get to have that happiness, peace, and love along with healthy boundaries that keep us safe. So we're going to take a deep breath in. We're going to ground. And I'm going to be sending some Reiki. If you are open to receiving, just say, I accept. Or mentally accept, whichever you choose. And I'm going to be sending us all Reiki for healing our boundaries, healing our relationship with boundaries, healing for all those times throughout our lives where our boundaries have been crossed, where our boundaries have been repeatedly crossed, when our boundaries have not been taken seriously. All of those core wounds that exist, either because of lack of healthy boundaries, not knowing what a healthy boundary even looks like or feels like, and Reiki for the new and healthy boundaries that we are now creating in this now moment, that are going to be moving with us into our future, where we do have healthy boundaries, where we do keep ourselves safe and sacred. You can have your eyes closed if you like. I encourage you all to breathe long and deep, and just continue to breathe deeply. Take a deep breath in and relax your body, relax your breath. Thank you for being here with me today. Thank you for participating in these weekly meditations and Reiki healings. As always, infinite love and blessings. I hope you're well. I hope you're happy and healthy and blessed in every way imaginable. I'll talk to you all really soon. Take care.